Was I wrong for uninviting someone from my wedding after she dropped $2,000 on my bachelorette? My bachelorette trip was last month, an international getaway with 13 of my closest friends. Most of them still live in City 1 where I grew up, but I've since moved to City 2, which is just a short flight or a 6-hour drive away. One of the girls, Rachel, was a high school friend I reconnected with after getting engaged. We weren't particularly close, but I thought it would be nice to have her there. Big mistake. Rachel had just started dating a new guy who happens to live in City 2, and she spent the entire trip glued to her phone FaceTiming him. It didn't matter where we were, the club, the beach, on a yacht, even while getting ready. She FaceTimed in the shower. The shower. She even dragged other girls into these calls, making them talk to a guy they didn't know, sometimes while they were changing. More than once she was completely nude on FaceTime. At one point she got into a fight with him and for some reason handed the phone to her roommate, Jamie, forcing her into the argument. Jamie, understandably, hung up and later asked to switch rooms. When Rachel wasn't on FaceTime she was talking about him. At dinner she kept blurting out, "I'm moving to City 2. We're going to be neighbors." Meanwhile, I asked about her kids. She has 2 with 2 different dads, and she vaguely responded that she'd just fly back every weekend. Keep in mind, this was a 1-month-old relationship. Then came the power outage during our private chef dinner. Her phone died and no one offered a charger. Next thing we know, she's booking a hotel on someone else's phone just to go charge it. Mandy, too nice for her own good, walked her there. On the way, Rachel suddenly remembered she had kids and desperately needed to call them. Hilarious, considering she hadn't mentioned them once before. Unfortunately, the power came back, so Rachel did too. That night, we played bachelorette party games and she casually dropped racial slurs during Mad Libs. I snapped. The room went dead silent. To top it all off, we had a shared photo album for the trip, and Rachel spammed it with hundreds of selfies, thirst traps, FaceTime screenshots, and text exchanges about how her boyfriend was the one. She even uploaded mirror selfies from a store where she was trying on dresses without underwear. One had a high slit and let's just say we saw everything. Meanwhile, my fiancé was getting updates from the girls. He was horrified. Even Jamie stepped in to talk to Rachel, and my fiancé himself messaged her, suggesting she be a little more self-aware and maybe, just maybe, put the phone down. Nothing changed. After the trip, I sent Rachel a message thanking her for coming, but I also laid it out. Her behavior was unacceptable and she was no longer invited to my wedding. She left me on read. No response. Now, some friends think I was too harsh since she spent so much time and money celebrating me. But let's be real. This isn't about me not feeling like the center of attention. This is about the fact that she made everyone deeply uncomfortable. And since I got back, I've heard even more insane stories the girls kept from me because they saw how upset I was.